voting is an interesting problem. It has requirements that are in many ways stronger than we see in many other security applications. The need for anonymous ballots, the secret ballots, sort of pervades the space and makes it really tough to do audits and other things.
2016 was the first time, I think, for the elected officials, for the American public to truly understand that cyber could destabilize a democracy.
Down at the level of precincts and municipalities and cities and counties and states, will the Russians drill into those? I think they will. Yeah. And I don't think they're sophisticated enough, the Russians, to figure out the 6 most important counties in Ohio and twist the ballots just enough to flip a state. I don't think that's the game. I think what they will want to do is destroy confidence in the process and make our national election look like Iowa. Yeah. Your point. We need to guard against that. That means more resources, more training for local officials.
2016 was a wake-up call, front-to-back wake-up call across the federal government. There is no single issue that I'm involved in that I've seen this level of engagement and clarity of purpose and jointness of mission. Everybody is at this issue as hard as any other issue I've seen.
Use paper ballots. The other is to check the paper ballots, and we have technology for doing that now with risk-limiting audits developed by Philip Stark at Berkeley and many others. So you take a random sample of the ballots and you can check to see if it's consistent with the reported outcomes. So these are 2 of my top things for security of elections, and we're starting to see those roll out nicely for this election coming up. I think for the 2020 election, about 80% of voters will be voting on paper ballots, which is great. It's a big improvement since prior years. And in particular, the swing states will all be using paper ballots. So
I think it's not just the sort of ballot box, right? Which it's hard to do undetected, and there's ways that we're beginning to be able to detect it. And we also have paper ballots now in many places. It's that infrastructure that supports the voting.
Yeah. The latest strain of disinformation that I've seen over the last couple of days is very chilling, and it is starting to pop in a variety of social networks.
The whole point is to create discord. Right now, there's a lot of argument as to whose side Russia is on. They're not. They're on their side. They're on their side to create discord and anger within our country to weaken us. They may have a preference, they may not have a preference. You will never know the true impact of what they're doing, but what they are absolutely doing is creating discord.
At the end of the day, I think the Russians are less interested in exactly who the president is and who the vice president. What they want, what they relish, is this polarization in the society, this distrust of government itself, this acrimony. We're in such an angry political season. And the reason the Russians want that is because it distracts us. It distracts us from what Russia is doing geopolitically in the world.
So what we've got to be able to do is work with our partners in state and local, work with our Department of Defense and intelligence community partners so that they can go disrupt over there. But here, we have time right now to understand what the threats are and then inoculate the public in part.